Also, receive special pricing on select interior paints, starting at just $29.69. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store October 19th through the 22nd and save. Retail sales only. See store for details.
KWTO-FM, Springfield. Follow all your favorite teams in sports on Jock 98.7 and online at jock987.com. Jock 98.7.
Brother, it's a long road from Amistad to Toho. Doesn't matter which way you go, the miles are all the same.
Don Berry's Fishing Radio Show is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Tad Mullen, attorney at law, Ranger Boats, Mercury Marine, Pro Guide Batteries, Sun Line, Branson West Marine, Marine Repair Center, Championship Marine, Chomper Soft Plastics, War Eagle Spinnerbaits, John's Hot Crops, McAllister Marine, Blues Reels and Rods, Solar Bat Sunglasses, Hayden Machinery, Ulrich Marine, Freedom Bank, Extreme Outdoors, Bass Pro Shops, Power Pole, and Garmin Electronics.
Welcome to Don Berry's Fishing Radio Show, the leader in sport fishing talk radio, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Together they create a best of the best shopping experience for all outdoor enthusiasts. It means more selection by bringing together the best in fishing with Bass Pro Shops, the best in hunting with Cabela's, and the best in boating with the White River Marine brands. Our Freedom Bank guest of the week this week is the crappie guru himself, Mr. Rick Flint, sitting right here behind me. And guys, gals, crappie fishermen, if you're wanting to tune up your crappie fishing, you need to tune in today. Whether you're doing it on ESPN Radio, Jock 98.7, or whether you're doing it right here on Facebook Live, the Fishing Radio Show, you're going to get to hear it from the man right here. He can flat put the crappie in the boat, and he went this morning, and he got a 5-gallon bucket full of them. I just saw the pictures. Freedom Bank has 5 branches in southwest Missouri, including Willard, Cassville, Shell Knob, Golden, and Seligman. Freedom Bank is a full-service bank with both deposit and lending services. Freedom Bank has all the tools to make your banking easier. They specialize in agriculture and are huge supporters of outdoorsmen everywhere. The staff at Freedom Bank is courteous and knowledgeable. You're not treated like a number. You're treated as part of the Freedom family. Your community, your future, your bank. Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri, member FDIC, equal housing lender. It's time, Mercury Marine Go Boldly trivia question. Get ready for the Mercury V8 4-stroke, faster, stronger, and bolder. It's that muscle car you dreamt of in high school in outboard form. Presented to us by Extreme Outdoors, located in Reed Spring, Missouri. Tackle Pack includes products from Extreme Outdoors. You got Chompers, War Eagle, Garmin. Got a gift card in there from Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. The Go Boldly question. This lure manufacturer signed Bill Dance and John Powell as spokesmen for his famous fishing lure brand. What brand is it? The Sunline answers, Cotton Cordell, Nick Cream, or Jim Bagley. Give us a call at 417-868-6100. That's 417-868-6100. Sunline, the only fishing line you need, fluorocarbon braid and monofilament, www.sunlineamerica.com. Fishing Radio Show news presented to us by Hayden Machinery. No job is too big or too small for Hayden Machinery. Hayden Machinery has the equipment you need for any size job. Hayden Machinery specializes in farm and construction equipment. Hayden Machinery can sell you new or used equipment. They can rent it to you until the job is done, or they can make repairs on your old. Check out their inventory at HaydenMachineryLLC.com or stop by and see for yourself where Division crosses I-44 right here in Springfield, Missouri, 417-831-0000, Hayden Machinery. Following the cancellation of the first scheduled day of the 2018 WON Bass U.S. Open due to extreme winds, Jason Borofka battled the post-frontal conditions to post a 13.84-pound limit to grab the lead on the initial day of competition. Day 1 was actually canceled due to high wind. They fished yesterday. They're going back out and fishing today. There was some word that they were going to shorten the day up today because of the high winds coming in, so I'm not sure if that happened or not. But our local angler right here in the Ozark, Randy Blockett, was sitting in 7th place yesterday, and they got a huge field out there. I believe it's over 250 boats in that tournament. So it'd be interesting to see. Not a lot of big weights. I think Randy had right around 13 pounds, and they're just stacked in there at 12 and 13 pounds in the top 10. Gary Klaus has withdrawn from the Bass Pro Tour of Major League Fishing for 2019, and he will accept an invitation to the Bassmaster Elite Series. According to a post on Klaus's Facebook page Saturday afternoon, Klaus was the only angler in the 80-man field of Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour that had not competed on the FLW Tour or the BASS Elites. I know there was a little bit of grumbling out there from some people wanting to know why he got invited, being that he hadn't fished the Elites or he hadn't fished the Tour, but they don't have to worry about it now. Gary said that he's fished the Opens on the Bassmaster side. His long-time dream was to make it to the Elites and fish the Elites, and he's been really close several times, and he never got it done. But BASS opened up the top 15 open anglers, invited them to go fish the Elites next year, and Gary Klaus jumped in and declined the Bass Pro Tour.
And he also said that he didn't have any worries about entry fees or expenses.
There you go.
That take a lot of load off of you.
So, and I haven't looked into it. I didn't see a lot about it, but I'm assuming that Bass opened that up to the top 15 open guys, and they're giving them 20% off on their entry fees. I'm assuming. Now, I may be wrong.
I thought they had to fish it last year and qualify.
Well, then how did Gary Klaus not going to have to pay any entry fees?
No, that was not what he said was his problem. He's got enough money that he doesn't have to worry about paying entry fees.
Oh, well, you didn't. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
that's what I meant.
misunderstood you. You didn't say that right. So I'm calling you out there. Never mind what I said about BASS opening up the entry fees to the Bass Opens. That's not correct. I was assuming that that's what you meant. Anyway, best of luck to Gary Klaus. They have not filled. As of right now, we do not know who that 80th angler is going to be in the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour that's going to replace Gary Klaus. There has been an offer made to an angler, but we have not heard anything back yet, so I can't give you any confirmation. Have to wait till next week, and hopefully we'll have one by then.
I hope everybody got to listen to our show last week with Boyd Duckett.
Yeah, we had a tremendous show last week. If you're wanting information on Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour and that's coming up, you can go to Facebook, obviously, and watch it. Our show with Boyd Duckett last week. We've had almost 7,000 views of that video, so which is tremendous for us. We're extremely happy. I also opened up a YouTube page. You can type in The Fishing Radio Show, or you can type in DBPF Productions on YouTube. Either one of those, and it'll take you to our archive shows on there. But if you get a chance and you haven't got to see it, go out and watch the show last week with Boyd Duckett. It was a great one. Mike Iaconelli's got a new TV show which aired this past Friday on National Geographic. It was the first show, and I did not watch the entire show. I watched a little clip of it, and it's going to be an interesting show. If you're wanting to learn how to catch fish out on the lakes, I would say it's probably not the best show to watch, but this is unreal. He's sitting on a cooler in the middle of Philadelphia, in the city, at a stoplight, and he's fishing down in the drain, and he's catching catfish. And he's using salted pretzels, a salted pretzel that he's tearing chunks off that he bought around the corner, and he said he'll also use hot dogs. But he reached in the box, pulled out a catfish that he'd caught. Now, it was about, 16, 17 inches long, and threw it back in there. But people were walking around videoing him on their phone like, is this guy crazy? He was sitting there with a fishing rod on his cooler right in the middle of town in Philadelphia.
You'd probably get him a new tattoo, a catfish somewhere. He's got a bass on his body now. So
yeah, but I don't know what to say, but it's going to be interesting because he's going around to all these different locations and he's going to, show people how you can catch fish in unorthodox ways, I guess. But I got a feeling that you're going to start seeing people fishing in the big cities in the drain ditches. All that water, he explained where all the water that goes down in these drains in the city there, he explained where it all went to. The lake there that they fish around Philadelphia, and that's where all that water drains. And he said those fish just come back up in there. It's crazy. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what he does next time. Regional tournament action presented to us by Battery Outfitters, Pro Guide Batteries, the fisherman's choice in batteries. Visit Battery Outfitters, Springfield location at 5245 South Campbell Avenue for all your battery needs. The Polar Bear Series on Stockton Lake was won by Luke Jarman and Josh Krytek. Hope I didn't butcher that, Josh. They had 13.74 pounds, and they also had the big bass with a 3.55 pounder. And the next cast presented by Lou's Rods and Reels, setting the standard by winning iCast Rod and Reel Combo Best of Show 4 years running. If you're in the Springfield area, stop by the Lou's headquarters and visit that Ozark Fishing Museum. The Polar Bear Series will be on Palm de Terre on October the 28th, and they'll go out of the Hermitage Boat Ramp. And let's go out here and see if we can get this trivia question answered. And my board man, I don't have a screen on here. Really? I just turned it on, but it may take. Who's our first? JD. JD. Oh, there it is. All right, JD, are you with us?
Yep.
All right, JD, where are you calling from, buddy? Springfield. All right, JD, do you have an answer for that trivia question, or do you need me to read it?
Can you reread it? I was calling in while you were reading it off.
I'll do it, buddy. This lure manufacturer signed Bill Dance and John Powell as spokesmen for his famous fishing lure brand. What brand is it? Cotton Cordell, Nick Cream, or Jim Bagley?
I'm going to go with Jim Bagley.
Going to go with Jim Bagley, the Balsa Bee man. That's a great answer, but it's not right, JD. Thanks for calling in, buddy. All right, Bill, are you with us? Hello, Bill.
Howdy.
Howdy. Bill, where are you calling from?
Springfield.
Thanks for listening to the show, buddy. All right, Bill, you got a 50-50 chance. Who was the lure manufacturer that signed Bill Dance and John Powell as spokesman for his famous fishing brand? Was it Nick Cream or Cotton Cordell?
I'm going to say Cotton Cordell.
Oh, Bill, I'm sorry.
Boy, he puts out a lot of big lures, but
you got it wrong. Thanks for calling, Bill. All right, Keith, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Well, Keith, I don't know.
Pressure's on, Keith. You blow this one, you're selling all your fishing rods, losing your fishing license, the whole bit.
I deserve it.
Do you need me to read anything, or do you know the answer?
I'm going to say Nick Cream.
You're going to say Nick Cream.
Did you have to study on that one?
No, just paid attention.
Hey, you got an A for effort today because you paid attention in class. There you go, buddy. All right, Keith, stay on the line with us. We need to get some information from you, and we will be right back after these messages.
Tad Moreland, attorney at law, 939 North Boonville, Springfield, is trained to meet all your legal needs, from personal injury, criminal defense, class action, or a speeding ticket. See Tad Moreland now. If a legal decision is required, just like me, Tad Moreland is the attorney you call. Court action or a simple speeding ticket. Look to Tad Moreland for representation. Contact Tad Moreland at 1-417-865-4400 for legal consultation, or tadstickets.com for those pesky traffic violations. Tad Moreland, with over 20 years of experience, is the attorney you want on your side. It's all about fishing people talking fishing. That's Extreme Outdoors, located behind Ulrich Marine in Branson, West Missouri. Extreme Outdoors has a huge inventory of fishing tackle you need to catch your next big fish. Whether you need a bait to fish in grass, or a lure that dives to 20 feet, or even a lure that is not known for catching fish in our area, Extreme Outdoors has your bait. When a lure is catching fish, Extreme Outdoors will have that lure. line, rod, and reel that you need. Extreme Outdoors, Branson West. If you haven't seen the full lineup of Ranger bass boats, better head to Branson West Marine, located on Highway 76 just east of Branson West, Missouri. With a fully certified installation staff, Branson West provides Mercury, Yamaha, and Evinrude choices in motors, while giving you the opportunity to choose from Ranger fiberglass, the new Ranger aluminums, and now the Ranger Regatta pontoon. Come to Branson West Marine for the largest selection of Ranger products in the West. Branson West Marine also has boat accessories and can install them on site. For the best deal on a new Ranger, get to Branson West Marine today. Sunline Fluorocarbon. Incredible sensitivity, abrasion resistance, less stretch, and longevity on the spool. BASS winners Tommy Biffle and Mike McClellan know what line to use. Sunline Fluorocarbon outfishes and outlasts all the others. Sunline Fluorocarbon and monofilament available at Fin and Feather and Bass Pro Shops.
Hey Amy, did you know the Honda Dream Deal sales event is literally happening right now, where you can literally get great deals on certified pre-owned Hondas?
Literally? I don't trust that word anymore ever since my coworker Jerry told me he could literally eat 1,000 burritos.
Well, that's literally impossible, but there is literally a Honda Dream Deal sales event happening right now. And Honda is KBB.com's 2018 best value brand. Seriously.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a certified pre-owned Honda at your local Honda dealer.
Based on 2018 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for information.
Welcome back to the Fishing Radio Show, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, where you can shop online and take advantage of the local in-store pickup, 100% guarantee, outdoor rewards program, and a price match policy on the best products in the world. Next cast brought to you by Chomper Soft Plastics, War Eagle Spinnerbaits, and John's Hot Props. Fishing in the Big Leagues, presented by Garmin Electronics and the new LiveScope, 2018 ICAST Best of Show winner. Don't get left behind. Make Garmin LiveScope your next choice when it comes to electronics. And I'm going to tell you, crappie fishermen out there, I'm going to tell this one sitting back here behind me. If you haven't had a chance to look at a crappie bed full of crappie on the new Garmin LiveScope, you're missing out. It is unreal. That's all I can tell you. It's unreal. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. FLW news prior to last week, and I'm pretty happy to talk about this one. It's my good buddy here. Jeremy Lawyer has 39 top 10 finishes in the FLW, and 9 of those top 10s have come on Lake of the Ozarks, but he never got a win until this past weekend. And our good buddy Jeremy Lawyer got it done. Won the Central Division of the Costa Series down there, pocketed about $42,000, plus he won a new Ranger boat worth $50,000. So congratulations goes out to Jeremy Lawyer. And we're happy for you, man. I know you were pretty stoked about it. I got to text you a couple times there, and you said you were flat pumped. So congratulations,
Stacy King.
Yep, Stacy King had a great showing. Stacy was leading the event going into the last day, and I watched the weigh-in, the end of the weigh-in live there. I watched Jeremy weigh in and a couple guys in front of him, and then Stacy, and Stacy pulled out a 2-pounder. He had to have about 11 pounds to take the lead, and then he pulled out a 3, and he pulled out another 3, and I'm like, he's going to get him. And then Stacy closed the bag.
But he had enough to get Angler of the Year.
He did. Stacy got Angler of the Year. Congratulations to Stacy King for doing that. Jeremy did well enough to pull into second place in Angler of the Year. So, we got 2 of our best Ozark guys right here around this area that did very well and in that Central Division, and we're happy for you. Jeremy had 46.3 pounds, and the conditions, he didn't pre-fish the day before the event. He stayed in the motel room. It was raining. It was nasty. He knew things were going to change, and he didn't want to second guess himself. So he just kind of fished the conditions, and it worked out for him. And the funny thing about it is, on the morning of the last day, he went back to his area that he had caught his fish in on day 1 and day 2, and he felt like he'd soaked it out lifted the trolling motor up, made a 35-mile run down the lake, and ended up catching, 5 or 6 more keepers and culled up like 3 times, and to get his 14-something that he had. And so, again, congratulations goes out to Jeremy Lawyer. BASS News, Bass extended invitations out to the top 15 Bass Open anglers to come fish the Elites in 2019. Hopefully by next week we'll have some more information on who is fishing the BASS Elites next year. MFL News, after the tournament festivities are going to take place at locations away from the water. It's kind of what they're talking about here is, we've been saying that in MLF they're not going to have the big wow factor at the weigh-in and everybody watching. So basically what they're talking about doing is having a venue away from the water where the takeoff is, and when the guys get done, they will pull their trucks and their boats, and they will go and they'll line up in single file, and they'll each pull into this tent or an area or stadium or something, and the guys will actually get up and have 2 or 3 minutes to talk real quick and say how their day went. They'll have a big screen TV in the background that's highlighting some of the fish that they'd caught during the day, and at least they're going to get to do something there. So, I can, not quite the wow factor of getting fish out of the live well and weighing it in, but they're at least going to have something set up for people to come to a venue and watch. So we'll have to wait and see how things are put together for that later down the road. College and high school spotlight presented by, we don't have a sponsor for that. If you're looking to advertise on the Fishing Radio Show, give us a call at 861-2983 and we can get you a spot on here. High school fishing news, if you're a junior high or a high school student and you like to bass fish, contact J.P. Sell at the Lew's headquarters right here in Springfield, Missouri. He'll actually come to your school. He'll talk to your administrators, to your counselors, and he'll show you how to get a bass club started in your school. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
There's an old saying that anglers and water enthusiasts have trusted for many years. Black on the back. Mercury has been pushing anglers to their limits, getting them to the fish and back to weigh-in. Mercury is still #1 on the water, and it's because Mercury builds their motors to last. Whether you choose the Pro XS models from 115 to 300 horsepower, Mercury's are built to last. Craftsmanship means reliability, so trust Mercury and put black on the back. When I hit the ignition, I'm thankful that I run Pro Guide batteries. When I drop the trolling motor and bump the switch, my boat always moves. For over 20 years, I have dealt my starting and trolling motor batteries some pretty tough treatment. When you fish 200 days per year and after every trip you charge the batteries in your boat, you better make certain they are Pro Guides. No battery on the market is as reliable as a Pro Guide. It's what you get with Chompers, a bite every time. Chompers is made with a scent of garlic, and you always know it's Chompers, but the fish do too. Don't open a package of Chompers unless you expect to catch fish. Chompers, fish bite it and never let go. From the finesse rig worm to their wild hog and twin-tail jig trailers, Chompers has a soft plastic for all occasions to match up with your Chompers jig. Get your Chompers on today. If I told you I got the same insurance as you, but at a better price, would you change? If the coverage was the same or better, would you change? If I told you my insurance agent had the knowledge as to which insurance best met the needs of me and my family, wouldn't you want to have my insurance agent also? All this and more from Scott Berry Insurance, the agent who shops around so you don't have to. Call Scott for home, auto, boat, and renter's insurance at 417-861-2983. Scott Berry Insurance, specializing in getting you the best price for your insurance needs. You can't afford to be without insurance, so why not get the best rates in the business with Scott Berry Insurance? Got a lot of oops and dang it's on the old boat? Make it new again with a trip to the most famous boat body shop in the Ozarks, Championship Marine. Championship Marine repairs fiberglass boats, installs carpet, and provides the best boat detail shop. So when your boat needs a makeover, go to Championship Marine in Spokane, Missouri. Championship Marine provides free estimates for their work, and you can always rely on Championship Marine to provide your old boat with a new boat look. See Championship Marine today.
Wishes transform lives.
My name is Memphis, and my wish is to swim with sea turtles.
And wishes positively impact the lives of these children and will forever enrich yours.
Memphis's wish gave her an opportunity to forget about her illness and gave her the opportunity to just be a kid again.
Each year, Make-A-Wish Missouri grants over 330 wishes to local children, and you can help make that happen. Donate today by visiting Don Barry Fishin' Radio's Facebook page and clicking the link to donate to Make-A-Wish Missouri. Your donations will bring us closer to our vision of granting the wish of every eligible child.
Welcome back to the Fishing Radio Show, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Shop at a location near you today for the best hunting, fishing, and White River marine boating products in the world. Next cast brought to you by McAllister Marine in Highlandville, Missouri, Marine Repair Center right here in Springfield, Missouri, and RMS Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive accessories. Call RMS today, 417-881-8434. Fish and Tackle Spotlight. Our man, the crappie guru right here, is going to talk about his favorite crappie baits. Let's hear it.
It's pretty simple, Scott. I use just 99.9% of the time a little 16th ounce jig that I pull myself. I use a sickle hook on it, and it has a real sharp barb on it. And what that does is that barb, when I slide that tube up over that, it puffs the head of it up, and it makes it look fat, and I guess it more resembles a shad. So consequently, it's a little fat bait, and I'll string that thing up there, and then there's one other added thing that always goes with it. Now, if you notice how that puffs that up, and it just makes a little fat wad out on the end of it. And
most people would think that was a miscue.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's exactly what you want it to do.
Now, most people take this head and stick it up through the bottom of that tube, and this is the reason you don't.
That's exactly right. And then the icing on the cake is the little crappie nibble. Now, that's kind of like American Express. You don't go home, or you don't leave home without it, is what it amounts to, because I'll guarantee you that the first time I ever started using those, I said, oh, this is a joke. It's not going to work. But, boy, was I ever wrong, because I put that on there and I started catching fish. And the guy told me, he said, well, they used them down on Grand Lake down in Oklahoma, and said that they'd actually just put it on a gold hook. And it's just a little crappie, little bitty old nibble thing. They don't smell too great, but I don't know what that adds.
Look like a marshmallow.
It does. And you just stick it on the end of your hook. Just like that.
You just kind of cover the point up with it.
Yeah, just over the tip of it.
Put the lid on those. Wow.
But it works, and I've gotten to the point anymore where the only thing that's not artificial is that stuff, and I don't know, you might even call that artificial too. But that's I use those all the time, and if I don't have it on there, I don't get as many bites. And a lot of times you'll get a little tick, and you pull it up, and all you got left is, the bait's gone. I mean, that little crappie nibble's gone. So that's the secret. Now, color-wise, anything that's chartreuse is fine. And I really like the glow chartreuse, that solid glow chartreuse, brown chartreuse, black and chartreuse, green and chartreuse. Those are my go-to colors. I don't have very many other colors in there that in my box that I don't use. I got a little bitty old box like this that I just put some of those green ones in it, the glow ones, and then.
Now the power baits come in different colors.
Yes, they do. And my favorite, well, I don't know, is really my favorite, because the white and the glow or the chartreuse color are the two colors that I use. They got some of the glitter in them. I don't like the glitter because it gets all over my face and hands and everything else. But you can actually see it whenever you drop it in the water. That glitter actually just comes off of the bait and just kind of
like scales.
Yeah,
maybe.
and it just and it's effective. It's only good for a little ways, because once you pull it, you drop it in, you pull it back up, then you got just a solid color piece of bait. What it is, it's just a marketing thing, which it sells them. But
I bet you're a guy that when you hit the back door, somebody's pointing to the sink to go wash your hands.
Well, that and get the fish scales and stuff off of them too. So I hit the back door. I've been cleaning fish generally, unless I gave them to somebody. But no, it is important, and I'm a firm believer in it. And I tell people, if you're not using them, you really need to. It really is a helpful thing, and it's going to help you catch more fish.
Well, I can attest to it. I don't crappie fish nowhere near as much as this guy right here does, but crappie nibbles are in the bag. And I'll also tell you a secret: if you crappie fish like I do, which is not a great deal, make sure you put your crappie nibbles in the refrigerator in the summer months, or they'll all melt together and make a mess.
Yeah, and you can, in the summertime, you can lay them out on the deck a little bit, and they dry out and they stay on a little better too. So that's just a little free tip there, that if you can dry them out, they go on the tip of the hook hard, but they stay there longer, and you can catch 3 or 4 fish on one nibble. So saving money.
There you go. All right, Branson West Marine Fishing Report. Shop Branson West Marine, located in Branson West, Missouri, for your next Ranger boat. And presented to us by Stone Creek Lodge and Tandem Fly Outfitters, your one-stop shop on Stockton Lake. They have a fully stocked bait and tackle shop, clean, affordable rooms, and fishing guides on staff. Find Stone Creek Lodge and Tandem Fly Outfitters on Facebook, or give them a call at 417-276-1700. Bass, right now you can catch them on whopper ploppers, buzz baits, square bills, crankbaits, spinner baits, jigs. We just transitioned from summer to fall like that. I'm hoping that we're going to get to enjoy some of the fall weather, because I'm telling you guys behind me right now that earlier this week it felt like it was first week of December. It's pretty cold. I bet you didn't have them shorts and flip-flops on when you went to the lake this morning.
No, I did not. And some folks had some actual winter precipitation too, so
yeah
not too far north.
No, so crappie, jigs, minnows around pole timber, brush piles seem to be working better, anywhere from 12 to 22 foot deep. You got to keep moving until you find them. Once you find them, you'll catch a few, and then you just keep moving around. And we're going to let this guy here in just a little bit, the crappie guru, is going to tell you exactly how to catch them. Catfish. I can tell you how to catch catfish, because I caught a few crappie fishing last Friday. You dangle a minnow down there in that brush pile enough, and you'll get a bite every once in a while, and it'll be a catfish. And I would say if a guy put a night crawler on a jig head and dropped it down there, he might catch a walleye, and he might catch a catfish.
I caught a carp this morning.
Caught a carp. There you go.
About 3 pounds.
Didn't know I was raising a multi-species angler over there.
He needs to learn to just go out and relax and have fun.
Is it relaxing?
I think it's relaxing, and then you make a game out of it, because it becomes competitive, because you want to catch a limit.
Oh,
and if you don't catch a limit, you're aggravated.
Sometimes it happens.
That fit right in.
That's why they call it fishing, not catching.
Yep. All right, let's take another break, and when we get back, we will be in the Find 'em, Catch 'em guest seminar with our guest, Rick Flint.
Ranger Boats has been honored to share the dreams of countless anglers for almost a half century, and they continue to enjoy the privilege of that service. Ranger offers the most outstanding fiberglass boat on the market, built to last and satisfy every fishing need you can think of. From fiberglass to aluminum, Ranger excels in performance and workmanship, preserving the strongest resale of any bass boat on the market. From the Z500C series to the new 199R aluminum pad boat, Rangers are built with unparalleled craftsmanship, performance innovations, and strength. From first light to the last cast, always rely on Ranger. Check out the new lineup of Ranger Regatta pontoons and start chasing the fun. Marine Repair Center just announced they are the Garmin electronics dealer for Southwest Missouri. Marine Repair Center now carries and installs the most sought-after fishing units available, Garmin. Marine Repair Center also has Minn Kota and Motor Guide trolling motors, while placing Garmin, Lowrance, or Humminbird electronics on your boat. The new Marine Repair Center, located at 1434 North National, Springfield. Call Scott or Brad at 417-833-9191 for the accessories needed to make you the best fisherman ever. And now, get the latest in Graph mounts from Bass Boat Technologies. at Marine Repair Center. Experiencing motor problems on your boat? Ulrich Marine is the established marine repair and outboard motor dealer in the Table Rock Lake and southwest Missouri area. Ulrich Marine carries all the accessories you need for your boat, including Garmin, Humminbird, and Lowrance Electronics, and Ulrich Marine installs them also. If it is a trolling motor acting up, look to Ulrich Marine for all your needs. Ulrich Marine also has the new Champion Charger boat, one real fast machine. Check out Ulrich Marine for all your boating needs and repairs, located in Branson West, Missouri, on the west side of Highway 13.
Bass Pro Shops is more than a store. It's the right gear for wherever your adventure takes you. It's a great selection of the brands you trust, like Under Armour, Carhartt, and Ascend. It's a low price guarantee. It's great service from folks who know what they're talking about. It's a sportsman's paradise. And free events that are fun for the whole family. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here at 1935 South Campbell in Springfield and at the Branson Landing.
Shop no more for electronics. New Garmin Echo Map Plus series has arrived. Affordable with new bright sunlight readable screens. Garmin Echo Map Plus is preloaded with Lakeview HD maps covering 17,000 total lakes, or you can create your own mapping with built-in software. See the lake like you've never seen it before with Garmin Echo Map Plus. Simple to use and built to make you a better fisherman. Garmin, now available at Marine Repair Center, Ulrich Marine, and Bass Pro Shops.
Welcome back to the Fishing Radio Show, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. We are here in the Find 'em, Catch 'em Guest Seminar, presented by Tad Moreland, attorney at law. When you need legal advice and representation, Tad Moreland gets the job done. Call Tad Moreland today at 417-865-4400 or go online to tadstickets.com. Freedom Bank Guest of the Week, Rick Flint, the Crappie Guru.
Boy, what little bit he's talked about, we've already got a phone call.
Got a phone call, yeah. We got Bill on the line, and Bill, do you have a question for the Crappie Guru?
I do, sir, and thank you guys for taking the call. I was wondering, for a guy who can and knows how to fish, but has a wife who is inept, is it possible for her to come with me if I hired you for a guide and took us out for 4 hours? I'm coming from Branson. And the next question, unless you want me to go to a website, is what does like a 4-hour trip go for?
Well, in answer to your question, Bill, I do not guide to begin with. I take people, but if I let me see.
You want me to read that?
Yeah, go ahead there.
Yeah.
We got some help for you here, Bill.
Bill, we got some help for you. Rick will talk to you here in a second, answer all your questions. If you're wanting a guide, Rick doesn't guide. I can hook you up with a guide. I got a phone number here for you.
Well, I'd be more than happy to put the fuel in the tank and drive up there.
I'll tell you what,
and bring the sandwiches as well.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Bill. I'm gonna give you a deal that you can't refuse, but it's gonna have to be next summer because we're tailing down off of the summer pattern, and it gets more and more difficult. But from the middle of June all the way through up to right now is the best time to go, and I will take you, and I will take your wife also, and we'll set her right up there, and she's going to catch fish. I'll guarantee you that she's going to catch fish. Now, is that a good enough deal?
I couldn't have said it any better myself, sir.
Okay,
he's switching over to the deer hunting mode here. He's got antlers growing out of the side of his hat right now.
But I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and I'll write the phone number down, and I'll have the guy here give you my phone number, and you call me the first part of June this next summer, and I'll put you in the book, and we will. I'll take you and your wife, and we'll get her done. I'll guarantee it.
And just so you know, folks, she's not listening, so it could just be you and me.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear what's coming here. Yeah.
That's fine.
Hey, we appreciate your call.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
I thank you guys, and I look forward to it, okay?
All right, Bill, stay on the line, and we'll get that phone number to you, and thanks for calling in. And, we had a question from one of our Facebook Live watchers, Rick. They wanted to know if the crappie in the fall will move shallow or do they stay out deep?
Well, actually, as the fall season comes along, or the fall pattern, they will start moving out into the deeper stuff. It's not far away, but right now nothing has changed. It's still in the summer pattern, and those fish are anywhere from in 6 and 8 foot of water around structure all the way up to 20 feet, 21 feet. Basically, the summer pattern is above the thermocline. Well, consequently, the thermocline on Stockton this last year was very deep because it was so clear early on, and as a result, that kind of threw people for a curve there. The fish were a little bit deeper, but right now they've not changed. The water temperature was 63.8 degrees this morning, and until it drops down another 10, 15 degrees, something like that, then we'll start looking for them in a little bit deeper water. They'll move from that what I call the shallow range, the 15, 16, 17 foot, out to a medium range, which is 20 to 28 feet. And then as the winter goes, the water starts turning colder, then they'll start going deeper and deeper all the time and get down in that 40, 50 foot range.
You know, for a guy that's only been doing this 2 years, you know a lot about this crappie.
A couple years. Well, I learn something every time I go. So
But how many years have you been doing this?
Well, it's more than 2. As a matter of fact, it's been about close to 50 years that I've been chasing these critters around, and there's just it just never stops. You was talking about it being fun a while ago, and crappie fishing is a fun sport, and I did the tournament circuit stuff and didn't quite agree with everything that was going on with it. So I said, that's not fun. It wasn't fun to me. So I don't guide because if you're a guide, sometimes you don't have a choice of who you can take. And I'd just as soon not aggravate myself like that. So I just take people fishing, and I donate some trips to charity stuff, and I talk fishing. I enjoy writing for you guys' web magazine, respooling, and the things that I talk about and the things that I'm actually telling people is facts. There's nothing that I read. It's nothing that somebody else told me, although I will do something somebody else tells me, because that's how you learn all about it. But in answer to your question, Scott, they're going to move, and I figure by the mid to latter part of November, where I'm going to start fishing some deeper stuff and catching some pretty good fish.
One of the most frustrating things for a crappie angler is getting hung up.
Yes, that's true. And when you're fishing structure, which you just about got to do that, if you got a lake that's full of structure, see, that's where your bait fish are going to hang out for the most part. And consequently, they're feeding on the microorganisms, and then the crappie come in and they start feeding on the bait fish. And so you got to fish down in that. There's 2 methods that I use. One, which is the easiest one, is vertical jigging, because I will throw a buoy out in front of in the wind direction. If the wind's blowing in my face, I throw the buoy on the wind side, and then I got a reference point there. And you got to learn to have boat control. That is probably the most single important factor in fishing brush piles and not getting hung up, is boat control, because you just tap it. You don't just lay on it, and because you'll go by it, and then you got the wind blows you back, and you're back and forth, you're going to get hung up. So whenever you start to pull up through the brush, if the tip of your rod starts to bend, just gradually start to bend down, that's brush 99% of the time. So you got to let up on it. You don't sit rear back and set the hook. That's probably the hardest thing for people to grasp, that concept of not jerking whenever that tip of that rod starts bending down. Crappie are not necessarily, the majority of the time, they're not going to just whack it like, some bass and stuff like that. The bigger fish, they'll just come and eat it. I mean, crappie feed all the time and they eat all the time, but they're not just going to just really whack it. So it's just going to be a little bitty peck. That's all you're going to feel. So once you see that tip of that rod go to bending down, let up on it, drop down, and jig it off the limb, and then be ready. Because as soon as you come off that limb and raise that up a couple, 3 inches, you'll just feel a little bitty old peck, and that's when you set the hook. And for old guys, it's really good. You can keep your senses really sharp because you got to be quick on the draw. And I tell you what, I'm slow in a lot of ways, but I still have a pretty good quick reaction time to that little bitty bite that you get, and it's just a little peck, that's all it is. And this morning, trust me, the bites weren't even a peck. They were just almost breathing on it. And the way you detect that bite is by watching the line, looking at the tip of the rod, having good equipment, and being able to see the bite rather than just feel it all the time. So it's an interesting game. It's always something going on.
Now, crappie are not well known to feed on crawfish, are they?
I've never seen a crawfish in the belly of a crappie, and I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of them that I've caught or cleaned. I've never seen one.
And their eyes are set up to look above, and that's why you look for the shad and
You're exactly right, Don, and they're going to feed on that. And this was another little thing that I tell people is that when you jig it, you hear people saying, well, you got to jig it a little bit, Well, I call it donking it because you're not coming up. Jigging it is pulling it up, but to donk it, you got to go down because that fish is coming up underneath that bait. And if I've got it suspended just above his face, and if I stop it and I donk it or go down with it, it just shoves it right in his face. And a lot of times it's a reaction bite to it that they'll grab a hold of it, and consequently you got fish on. And so I do that occasionally, and I actually do it probably more than I realize it because I've been doing it for so long. You just do things, it's just kind of a natural thing. When I take people and I set them right beside me up in the front of the boat, and I've got a folding chair I set up there, and put them right there beside me, and I can I watch what they're doing and try to teach them, how to do it right there. And you'd be surprised how quickly some of those folks come on. The younger generation, particularly, they catch on real quick now. I don't know, Don. You got to come go with me.
Hey, do black and white crappie live in the same apartment?
Yes, they do. Although the blacks are a little bit, they like a little bit rougher neighborhood. You'll find them mostly in and around the rocks. We have blacks and white both in the area lakes. All of the area lakes around there have black and whites both. And people get confused about what is the black one, what's the white one. The black one has lots of specks on it. Now you go further north and you'll find less and less white crappie up in Canada and the Minnesotas and up in the lakes country. Most of them are all black, but they're a little more tuned into the cooler weather and cooler water, and they thrive a little bit better there than the whites do. But the white will have kind of a bar look on the sides of them, and they'll have specks too, but nothing like the blacks will have.
They all taste the same?
They do. They taste the same. I got snookered into a deal on that. Benjamin had one of our guys in Jeff City one time said he wanted a mess of crappie. He wanted blacks and white because they were doing a study on which one, if there was any difference. They look just a little bit different. The white has more of a pinkish look, whereas the black is kind of more of a clear bluish look. And he wanted to see if they was any difference between the two of them. I think all he did was just took and eat them. I never did hear any results from the report, but I said I could get you both. So, but I didn't hear any results of it.
So Rick, if one of our listeners, our Facebook watchers, hasn't been to Stockton crappie fishing in several weeks, and they're going to get away this weekend, maybe next weekend, and go, tell us what they need to do.
You need to go and find some of the MDC brush piles that have been put in, and there's a website. You can go on the fishing website with the Conservation Department, and it'll show you exactly where they're at. And you can use your phone and find them, or if you got good electronics, Garmin already has them preloaded, and you go and fish those brush piles. They're thick, and you're going to get hung up, but you need to learn how to tie on real quick anyway. So take lots of jigs with you.
Yeah, take lots of jigs.
And don't worry about it if you lose one. I mean, but try to jig it off the brush pile first. If you go real slow and ease it up real easy, like what
donk
you can.
it.
Yeah, and then
donk it.
You donk it.
Yeah.
Next time Gayer gets hung up, I'm going to say you should have donked it when you jigged
not
it.
Jig it, donk it. You go down.
These fish are not biting it jig. They want it donked.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how many bites you'll get whenever you do just drop that right in front of their face a little bit. But that's the best advice I can give them, Scott. Now, if they've got places that they put in their own brush piles, go to those 12 to 15, 18-foot brush piles and fish not just the brush, but fish on the outside edges too, because those fish are laying off out there, and those shad are moving in and out of that stuff, and it seems like that they have a tendency to be just out just a little bit. And so anyway, that's my best advice I can give them.
All right, we've got a caller, Levi. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, with my experience chasing crappie, I've got like piles, that I can consistently catch them on. And sometimes I'll pull up, I'll see them on the graph, I'll drop down to them, I know they're there and they won't bite. My question for you would be, how long do you give a pile till you move, even if you know there's fish on it?
First of all, what you're seeing may not be crappie. They could be bluegill, or they could be some small white bass, or they could be even some larger bass too. But I'll give it, 5-10 minutes, because I want to fish the entire thing, not just the pile itself, but in front of it, on the back side of the wind, on the front side of the wind, and then off the sides too. So whatever time it takes. If I don't get bit there, then I say they're not here, so pick up and go. And 5-10 minutes at the most, and then move. That's the best advice I can give you on that. And right now you may have to do that, because not every brush pile will have a lot of fish on it. Every brush pile will have some fish on it, but not all of them, they're not going to have a lot on it. I'll put it that way. And that's what you're looking for. You want to find one that's got several fish on it, and then you can load the boat, so to speak, and take them home and cook them, eat them. Good.
Gotcha.
So
thank you.
Okay,
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling, Levi.
What temperature is frying temperature for a pot full of crappie?
350. No more than 370. 350, and let them go until they're just golden brown, and pull them out of there, and that's pretty good.
Melt in your mouth.
He's about to pass out.
I've got a big bowl sitting there at the house right now.
Well, how often do you fry fish at your house?
Oh, once a week or so. But all the fish I catch, if somebody goes with me, I give them the fish. Mm-hmm. I don't keep. There's no way that I could do that, and even some turn them loose. Because you can just only have so many, and you can only eat so many too. But the ones that go with me, I let them have the fish, and they always say, "Oh, well, sure you don't want some of them? That's fine. You just take them and go and enjoy them, feed your family, and go on."
Okay, they're known as paper mouths. So when you set the hook on a bite, it's not a power set like you're worm fishing for largemouth.
Correct.
So it's a small twitch. How do you keep that bait from really tearing those mouths where they come off?
Well, it's a constant pressure. You snap the bite. In other words, you snap your wrist up. And I use a 6.5-foot rod. When I snap that up, the tip of that rod's going to go up at least 3 feet. So I'm pulling him up, and then you keep pressure on him. The worst thing you can possibly do is drop the tip of your rod or try to pump that fish, because the jig will come out of his mouth, and they will throw it. It just as slick as a whistle, they'll throw it. So
do they ever hit like a beetle spin? Plus?
Yes. Yeah.
Where you got a spinner on there rather than just a bare hook?
Absolutely. And the Roadrunner is a type of spinnerbait. Is one of my favorites. If I had one survival lure that I had to take, and I could only have one, I would take a Roadrunner, because I've caught more fish on them. Now, this time of the year, you can still catch them with it, but I prefer just using a regular jig. In the spring of the year, I won't throw anything but a Roadrunner with a curly tail grub on it, and just whack them pretty good.
Wow.
Rick, we got another question. Jonah Lawrence wants to know about bridge piers and the standing timber. When did the crappie move to those?
Now, they're there. You'll find some of them on all of them. Now, the standing timber 3 weeks ago was really, really good, and big fish were on the standing timber. They've kind of left that. You can still catch a few, but you really got to be moving, and they're staying really, really close to the timber. So, they're there now, and the bridge piers have fish on them right now. And around those bridge piers, you'll find all kinds of different species of fish, your catfish, and all of them.
Do some crappie stay on the bridge piers pretty much all year round, except maybe for the spawn?
They do. Even right in the middle of the summer, there's, if you got a little bit of brush down there or some kind of cover down there that's attracting the bait fish, they're going to be there. And of course, on the sides of those bridge piers, it's growing microorganisms too. And those little minnows, you've seen those little minnows swimming around. Anytime you see minnows swimming around on top of the water, there's crappie below them, I'll guarantee you. And I'm going to sit there and be catching them.
Oh, okay. Line size. Is it important, or
it is?
Can I go with 16-pound test and jerk their jaws? Or?
No,
you got about 15 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, 4-pound max, ultra green, the best.
4 pounds.
Don't argue with me. It's the best.
It's the best. There you go. It is the best. Hey, I've enjoyed it as always. The crappie guru has told you guys how to catch crappie, Stockton, Palm de Terre. Get out there and catch some, and we have got to get out of here. But thanks, Rick Flint, for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Until next week, folks, I'm Don Berry, host of Don Berry's Fishing Radio Show, saying keep fishing and keep
Don Berry's
catching.
Fishing Radio Show is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Tad Moreland, attorney at law, Ranger Boats, Mercury Marine, Pro Guide Batteries, Sun Line, Branson West Marine, Marine Repair Center, Championship Marine, Chomper Soft Plastics, War Eagle Spinnerbaits, John's Hot Crops, McAllister Marine, Blues Reels and Rods, Solar Bat Sunglasses, Hayden Machinery, Ulrich Marine, Freedom Bank, Extreme Outdoors, Bass Pro Shops, Power Pole, and Garmin Electronics.
Wind and rain to me, it's all the same. I make a living playing this game.
Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Hey, get your head in the game. This ain't no exhibition match. This is for real. You've got a house to insure, and there are no excuses because Progressive's Home Quote Explorer makes it easier than ever to get the coverage you need. Here's some music to get you pumped. Dum chugga 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 meow meow meow. Dum chugga chugga chugga. Feel that confidence? Dum chugga chugga chugga. Did I say stop saving money? No. Dum chugga 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 meow meow.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough, but getting back up makes you tough.
I thought you said something about playing some.
Yeah, tape to play.
So, are you going to tie line